Good evening and welcome to what is the second race with the UK-US versus the rest of the world. We are at Imola for this one. Wahey! Beautiful sunshine, lovely weather, clear skies, not a cloud. And joining me in the comms box, my tag team partner tonight, Andrew Monster. Say hello.
Well, this is a new duo, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen?
It is a weird one at that, I'll tell you now.
Nothing wrong with being weird. Almost boring. But
Yeah.
thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you, to be fair. It makes it easier on me.
No, it's not a problem, but let's have a look-see who we have out on laps at the minute. Although looking at the liveries, I can already see two people are probably going to hate them. Because they're going to hate me for my next statement.
And what is your statement?
The livery of the UK and the USA teams does look a bit villarish.
I'll take the red out and make it white, and then you've got the Leicester City one, which will do me.
But no, it's very nice livery. Very stealthy,
Courtesy of our league owner, Martin Hills, who made the livery for the UK-US team.
It's very nice, Martin. Good to see him on track again tonight as well. So who do we have first on the lap?
That's a good question. Who's going to be the first one across the line? I think it's going to be Baby Hornet.
Baby Hornet. Yes, the younger of the Hornet brothers.
So I'll do a lap. Finish straight towards the turns 1, 2 and 3 of Tamburello, which has been changed. It used to be one constant sweeping curve until they changed it for safety reasons. Now we head down into Villeneuve. Up next is the tight hairpin of Toza. And then we'll be heading up the long run uphill towards Piratella. Easy to invalidate running wide here as he keeps it in track limits as we enter Aquaminerale, the double right-hander, which is so easy to get it wrong. Back uphill as we enter the tight chicane, which can make or break a lap, and also quite easy to invalidate out the exit. Now we go all the way down to the first of the two Rivazzas. There's the first one, and here's the second one. Then power down out of the exit to the finish line, and Baby Hornet sets the time of a 17.3 to take provisional pole, as Chris Bailey does a 15.8 to take a pole, and Mark with a 16.1. Times are coming in fast.
On the medium tyres as well, Chris. That was a stonker of a lap. He always seems to pull this card quite early, doesn't he? He always goes, right, I'm going to have one lap on the...
Yeah, it's a
see what I do.
Yeah, it's a habit of Chris, not going to lie. It's a very, very consistent habit.
If it's not broke, don't fix it. But,
yeah, speaking of particular drivers and force a habit, I wonder if we'll see Ant out on intermediates during qualifying.
Things can always happen, but no, very good description of the lap here. It's Imola. What do you think of the track, actually? Do you like? Is it one of your favourites? Do you like it? Hate it?
It doesn't suit my driving style, because the problem I have at Imola is I'm very heavy on brakes. As Kid goes quickest on a 15.6, pipping Chris. It's currently a UK-US 1-2-3, but the predicament is the UK-US team is being represented by UK drivers, so it's practically the UK versus the rest of the world. As we'll just catch Lorpe on the end of his lap as he comes round the second of the two Rivazzas. and he goes P8. Time's flying in.
There's a faster lap in that car for him, I feel.
Yeah, Saviour's just coming to the line. He goes third on a 15.8, so he's the highest of the rest of the world drivers
at the moment. But it's an interesting track, this one. It's been, as you mentioned in your track guide, it's been modified a fair few times, obviously for safety reasons. As you said, it used to be one long stretch straight all the way up to Tosa, but that went after the 94 season, after the unfortunate passings of Roland Ratzenberger net and Senna at this track. But I like this place. It's got you get a good throw, a good rhythm into this place. It's nice, and some of the modifications I will agree with, as I say, with the Tamburello chicanes, and taking away the old chicane at the end of the lap as well, and just making the pit straight one long, very nice straight is a good thing, I feel, as well. But the only change I would disagree with is changing the top chicane that Lorpe's just coming up to now. The Variante Alta, because it used to be just like one flick straight over the curves, but I think elongating it has nullified some of the challenge a little bit.
Yeah, and Chris Bailey's just gone even quicker, a 15.5 on the same set of mediums again.
If that's his pace on the mediums, I'm scared to what he can do on the softs.
He has a habit of leaving it till the last minute. Just going to jump on board with our league owner, Martin Hills, or Single Track, as he comes down to the Rivazzas.
Sporting that famous number 5 tonight.
There's quite a few people that race the number 5 in the league now, as Martin comes across the line and goes P10 on a 16.9.
He could be proud of that lap, but I think as I've said with a few drivers, I think there's more to come.
Max is off track, but I think he's keeping out the way of people, so we'll leave that. As Ghost Rider's coming to the line, what's he going to do? 18.2, so I think there's a bit more in the tank for Ghost Rider.
Yeah, he's got more pace in him. We've had a few battles back in the past when we were. I think he's reserved in Tier 2 a couple of times, and we have gone wheel to wheel.
Right, who else? Max on an out lap.
Hornets on an out lap.
Calvin's on medium, so I'll see if he's going to start another lap.
I'm gonna keep an eye on the newly dubbed Middlesbrough Maestro Hodgie. See how he does.
Calvin pits from his lap as Mark is starting a lap, so we'll follow him.
Follow him around to see what he can do.
Yeah, it's currently Hodgie time at this very moment.
Beautifully flicked through that chicane.
His trademark purple and yellow helmet.
I wonder where he got the colour scheme from.
Very good question.
It just eludes me. I don't know. Of course I know that.
Wookie says in the YouTube chat, "Go on, Chris." Not surprised when Chris is currently sat on pole at the moment.
Although, to be fair, because I know this is Wookie, I just want to hear that in Chewie language. It's Star Wars now.
Well, if he was racing, everyone would have to pull over, because there was a line in Star Wars that goes by "Let the Wookiee win." So if Wookiee was racing, then I think everybody would have to stop on the final lap and let him through to win, as Mark goes into the pits.
So Chapas
Let's see what... Bergen. I've just jumped to Bergen. He's 2 tenths up going through Tosa. Now, Bergen is another driver who I know's got some decent pace under him when he gets the car hooked up. Hopefully we can see a good lap from him now.
Hope so too. He's one of the stalwarts of the league, and Very quick.
Oh,
Lost it.
no! I think I've cursed him. Oh dear.
Yeah, I think we did a little bit, but he's only just knocked the front wing off the car. He hasn't taken a wheel off, which is the main thing.
Apologies, Bergen. We'll move away from that.
I think we might need to.
Invalidated.
I think we might need to deadbolt the door.
Yeah.
The comms box.
Saviour is slight. Oh, kid,
Wow.
15.3 to go quickest. That's on the soft tyre.
I wonder what we see at 14.
Possibly. Well, I've just jumped to Saviour. Was slightly up on his time on the mediums.
I'm keeping an eye on Chris actually, because he's starting an outlap. He's just at the top of the hill.
Yeah,
Delta.
I'll watch the end of Saviour's lap then, see what he can do on these mediums. As he goes, oh, he's invalidating and gone very wide. He's in the gravel at the Rivazzas. Rare mistake by Saviour.
He is human after all.
5-time champ.
He's MRC's John Cena.
He's MRC's very own Juan Manuel Fangio, because he has equalled Fangio of 5 titles.
Now he's just got to go after Lewis and Schumacher.
3 more to go for that one.
Yeah, Chris is just flying through that first sector beautifully. Car's just dancing.
We'll jump to Chris then, as he'll... Yeah, he's purple in the first sector, coming up to Acqua Minerale.
Nicely held.
Through Piratella, sorry, now Acqua Minerale. Getting me corners mixed up, trying to keep up with everything.
It's unfortunate with Chris, he shouldn't be so quick.
Purple in the second sector, this is looking very good.
This is looking close to pole. Just can't let the car in front of him get in front, mess his lap up.
14.9 from Calvin.
There's the 14 we were waiting for.
The mighty Manx strikes again. Chris 50. Ooh, slightly slower. Could Calvin make it back-to-back pole positions in this UK-US versus the rest of the world little series we've got ongoing here? Because he got pole in Bahrain when last week when we had the first race. Martin Hills has just put in YouTube. I really don't like this track in these cars. Was much more fun in the little V10 cars. That is a good point. I did enjoy throwing it around. I think probably the mid 2000s, I'd say, for me. For that one.
Yeah, because this track dropped off the calendar in 06, didn't it?
Oh, I'm just looking at times. Jack's the P5 currently on a 15.7. Now, he's definitely one who's got some good pace under him. Well established in Tier 2 after just one season as well, so...
he's missing his front wing, though, at the moment, so I don't think he's going to be doing too many more laps after this one.
Hodge has just improved, but stays in 6th.
It's very close with him and Jackster. Very close.
Yes, as most people are in the pits now. There's only
Danny's left the session.
Can you see if you can get him back in at all?
I will try.
But then again, it was Mark that did the invites, if I'm not mistaken, because he is the host.
Yeah.
Mark's got his rear light flashing, so that signifies that he's going to be boxing at the end of this lap, so yeah.
I don't have him on my friends list, which is an unfortunate one.
Neither do I, so hopefully he can get back in. Ghost Rider's the first one back out on formation on the outlap. No, apologies. It's actually G-Star that's the lead one on his
yes,
on the outlaps.
The former Tier 1 Ferrari driver partnered with Ijoni.
absolutely, yeah, absolutely smashed the Constructors' Championship. They did.
Very formidable pairing. They were last week. Oh, his internet's dropped. Hopefully, try and get you back in there before the beginning of the race, Danny.
Yeah, so we'll stick with G-Star on the soft tyres, see what he can do, because he's got some very good pace underneath him when he's on it. As the cars stay out the way as he goes through Villeneuve into Toza. A striking yellow helmet for G-Star. Keeping it clean as... Oh, he just invalidates out of Piratella. That's going to hurt. Ran slightly wide out of Piratella. Hopefully he can... he's got enough fuel or whatnot to go again. Right, jump to Bergen as it always down on his lap. Well, he was down when he crossed the line, so we'll see what he can do here. As a fellow UK-US car stays out the way.
Saviour's just warming up. Hodge's still in the pits. I don't think he's coming back out again. I don't think he's going to make it round.
Yeah, got about a minute and just under a minute and 20 left. As we're sticking with Bergen as he comes through Piratella.
Now, so we'll keep an eye on him.
Bergen keeps it well this time through Acqua Minerale, doesn't spin it. But he's actually flashing, so actually he's not on a lap, I don't think, looking at that. 38 invalidated. G-Star come flying through Acqua Minerale. Well, that's an improvement for Womax. Just jump back on G-Star as he's trying his second attempt after he invalidated the last lap. Running down the hill towards the two Rivazzas. See how close he can get to the top.
No, Jack's just the things out of this lap.
So run to the line for G-Star, and he stays 9th. Only improves by a 10th.
He'll be disappointed with that. Well, I'm keeping an eye on this big three at the minute.
Yeah, I'm gonna just jump to Saviour's pitted, so that's his qualifying done.
Chris is not improving in that first sector. He's just under a 10th down. He's gone wide, top of the hill. I think that's him.
I've just jumped to Kid, he's 3/10 up. So Kid is looking to take pole off of Calvin in the dying minutes or seconds.
Calvin's invalidated his lap as well. So he's not going to improve.
So can Kid Dynamite pip his fellow UK-US driver? He's not far off of Calvin, but he's only just up at the moment through the chicane going down to the Rivazzas. See if he can make any time up through the last two corners of the Rivazza as another UK-US car gets out of the way. Kid gunning it to the line. What's he going to do? He stays second, but in 5,000ths of a second improvement, but it doesn't give him pole. So I think that's qualifying. Yep, that's qualifying because G-Star's on the side of the track. Lorpe's. Yep. So Calvin makes it 2 from 2 in the UK-US versus the rest of the world. The only driver to get into the 14s.
That is impressive, and I'm just looking at the gaps between him, Dynamite, and Chris. It's insanely tight.
It's super tight at the top between those. Super tight.
Throw a blanket over the three of them.
But as slim as a piece of paper. as we'll run through the grid order. So Calvin takes pole with a 1:14.9. Kid will be alongside him on the front row. Then it's Chris, Wumax, Sociopath. Bergen gets to P6 on his final run. Jack's to P7. Mark is 8. Saviour, P9. Dunbest Hornet rounds out the top 10. And below that, the second half of the grid, it is G-Star in 11th, 38 in 12th. Single Track in 13th, Lorpy 14th, Ant 15th, Baby Hornet 16th, RSC Danny 17th, Ghost Rider 18th, and at the back of the grid, as this is only an 18-man race.
But it's going to be an interesting one, I feel. Lots of strategies afoot, and a lot of people I think are going to be possibly masking the pace, but we'll see what happens.
Just a quick one, Andrew. 1 stop or 2 stop, what would you do?
If it was a 50% race, I would only do the 1 stop, the mediums to hards. But since it's 100%, I would do 2 stop. But a lot of that decision is going to come down to safety cars here.
Well, I do hear that the 1 stop is possible, but the 2 stop is the safer bet.
It might be, but you've got to watch out for track position here, because it's a fast flowing circuit, but there is really only one overtaking spot on this whole track, and we both know it's into turn 1.
Yeah.
So are you going to really risk probably being stuck in the traffic and losing track position, or could you try and brave it out? But we'll see what happens in the preceding 63 laps here.
Yep, 63 laps of Imola. Anything can happen, including safety cars. So safety cars could play a factor as well, as the cars will head out on their formation lap, being led by Calvin at the front of the pack. Predictions for race winner?
I'm going to go out of the blue here, and I'm actually going to back Chris for this one.
Well, it is tight with those front 3, so it could be any one of those 3. Because I watched him from his point of view last week in Bahrain when he took pole and had a mishap of a race, getting a bit unlucky and a bit unfortunate. I'm going to probably say Calvin for the race win, because he's gotten a lot quicker as of late, and he's really starting to show what he's capable of, and there's a reason why he's a tier 1 driver, and an established tier 1 driver at that.
And a former teammate of mine.
Yeah, and a former championship rival of mine. He pipped me to the title in the last race of a couple seasons ago. As I say, the better driver won that season. I got lucky with how things went and got in the right positions at the right time, but it wasn't enough, even though he did miss Monza that season and he still won the title ahead of me. So I kind of learnt from that.
Yeah, you learn from different things.
Certainly do.
Still not got RC Danny back in the race. Which is unfortunate. Let's have a quick ganders at the tyres before we start. Calvin on the softs, that's interesting.
My guess is he's probably going 2 stop.
I would assume so, but he's going to have to bolt at the start. He's going to have to run away from Chris and Kid.
Yeah, Max has missed his grid box.
Although I did see a car off on the grass a little bit on the side, but not giving me the best camera angle for this.
No, it's a bit of a weird one. I'll be on Kid for the start of the 3, 4, 5. And we're racing in Imola. Great start by everyone. Calvin. Oh, this is a horrible. There we go. Calvin, Kidd, and Chris near enough. Jostling.
3 or 4 wide into turn 1. Oh, I thought I saw some.
Oh,
someone's gone off further.
Very tight first opening of the lap.
Bergen a little bit wayward on the outside.
Yeah, he's tumbling down the order. So Calvin, Kidd and Chris are stationary as they were on the grid. Womax is 4th off the line. Sociopath Jax the 6th. Saviour 7th. Dunbest Hornet 8th. Mark 9th. Bergen dropped down to 10th after a mishap down at the first few corners. Don't know what happened. 38 11th. Lorpy 12th. Single Trap 13th, G-Star down to 14th at the start and 15th, Baby Hornet 16th, Ghost Rider 17th and RSC Danny down in 18th, Ghosted Car not back yet.
The front 5, they've all maintained their positions off the start. Strange enough, the biggest winners off the start was Saviour and Dumbest Hornet, both up 2 places. Bergen drops 4, who's the biggest loser. Mark's dropped a spot. G-Star's dropped 3. And now the only moves and shakers as we finish the first lap.
Yeah, apart from Ghost Rider, who gained a place because of a ghosting car at the back.
Chris is overtaking Dynamite turn 1.
I've just seen that from Calvin's view, as they are still scrapping.
Kid Dynamite's got to watch out. He's got He's got a very fast Womax right on his gearbox.
Yeah. You would probably think that the front 3 being the UK US team, you'd think they would probably work together to hold those 3 positions, because tonight the top 3 get double points. The top 3, yes, the top 3 get double points, and the 15 drivers will score points as well. So
off. It's Ant.
Yeah,
Ant's off at the bottom of the hill.
That's at Piratella. I wonder what happened there. He's got going again, looking at the track map.
Yeah, he was backwards in the gravel trap. It must have been quite a hefty hit.
Yeah, I'm struggling to work out the gaps for some of the cars, because the Deltas are all over the place at the moment. Is Chris 19.3 on the mediums, only just pipping Calvin's time. So those 3 are most likely going to be working together, and the Deltas have sorted.
Which is fantastic. Right, let me turn off the position changer, and we can see where else we got. Baby Hornet's in the pits. That's damage on the front wing by the looks of it. Yep, it's damage on the front wing.
Contact somewhere, most likely.
Must have been.
Ant's not had to pit though, so he's looking all right, but he's way down. They could do with a safety car at any point to probably get them back in.
With Saviour and Sociopath, the teammates are starting to work together.
Yeah, Saviour will be looking to hunt down the front 3, as he won last time out in Bahrain in the UK-US rest of the world race after a controlled performance, keeping Ant at bay.
Oh, he wants to catch up to his MRCX friend.
Oh yeah, he wants to slug it out with Chris again. That's for sure.
Yeah, let's let him have a Hell in a Cell match this time. I think a match.
Calvin pulling out ahead of Chris. That'll be the soft tyres. Calvin taking full advantage of it.
Chris still has DRS though.
Yeah, we've got a massive DRS train behind Dunbest Hornets.
Although two, 3 cars there going wheel to wheel.
Bergen's made a place on 38, so that's Bergen up to P9. As we'll keep watching this.
As well, I think he's dropped just at the top 10, but he's playing the longer game tonight by the looks of it. It's Hodgie is one of the few cars on the hard tyres at the moment, along with G-Star.
Bergen's made another place. He's up to P8 now. He's got ahead of Jackster, so he's going to be behind Baby Hornet now. Sorry, Dunbest Hornet. Baby Hornet's a bit further down. He's last of the runners at the moment after pitting for repairs as...
Jeez, right outside of 38.
Yeah, I've just seen that on the position change. He's up to P10. It becomes a bit of a pain, Imola, especially when you have a DRS train all the way down to turn 1.
It nullifies things a little bit, I won't lie, but it's keeping things honest at the moment. These front
Sociopath's out. Sociopath is out.
Safety car.
Yeah, first safety car. Sociopath has binned it at the second Rivazza.
Calvin's going to be kicking himself for this because he's just past the pit lane. He could have... If that safety car was probably about 10-15 seconds a little bit earlier, I could have seen him diving in.
Possibly.
He probably wouldn't have lost as many positions, but this is actually quite good for him because on those softer tyres, they would have started screaming out in pain in the next few laps.
Yes.
So it gets him off them for now.
Calvin's quite good on his tyres as well, so he can get a little bit extra than most people.
He channels his inner Checo then, does he?
I would say so. So while we're under safety car, you got any facts about this track, Andrew, that you can fill us in with?
That I do, actually. I remember this as the track back in 2005, where for some strange reason ITV thought it was a good idea to put an ad break between Alonso versus Schumacher in the last few laps. I still don't know why that was a good idea.
Yeah, I remember that as well. Right at the juicy part of the race when we had the two biggest title contenders that season
going wheel to wheel,
slugging it out.
But no, this was the track, that race where BAR unfortunately got their infamous disqualification and ban for 2 races. Was here.
Yes.
Because of the cars were run under weight because they had an extra ballast tank in the car to bring it up to weight. So when the FIA drained the car at the end of the race, they found out that the car was, I can't remember the exact number of kilos underweight, but it was underweight. So unfortunately, they lost their points that race and got banned for 2 races. So Jensen had to moonlight in commentary for a few races. But,
rules are rules, though. Sadly, rules are rules, which is the kicker.
That is true. That is true. But it's nice to actually see the cars racing here again, since we didn't obviously have the real life San Marino Grand. No, I'll say it right.
You nearly did it. You nearly did it.
The Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, because unfortunately the region was hit with severe flooding.
Yes,
at the time of the race.
Although the time there wasn't wasted, the drivers and everyone helped out with the clear up, because I remember seeing a video on social media of Yuki Tsunoda sweeping the streets.
Yes, I remember seeing that as well, especially with the... I also like this as well because they did this during the COVID as well, which is when we... Obviously, a lot of us were cooped up indoors and we couldn't really do a lot else as well. They did the charity races as well, didn't they, to help out with...
Yes, they did. The virtual races with sim racers, celebrities and real-life drivers, as Baby Hornet's got 3 seconds for track limits.
That very must easy have been to do around here.
Especially at the chicane at low speed.
And I also remember as well, from this race, this is when an F1 driver lost their licence and they had their career cut short at 4 races.
Yes, I can't remember which driver that was.
I actually can. It was there was a new team brought into F1 on that season.
Super Gary, weren't it?
That was the one.
Was it E-Day by any chance then?
That's it, and I know the corner it was at. It's the one that Calvin is just going around now. He decided to pitch
it was at Villeneuve.
He pitched Christian Albers into a barrel roll, and they said, no, we're taking away your super license after that. So...
Spectacular barrel roll, mind you.
Yeah, I
You don't want
want
to see it.
be...
You don't want to see it though. We don't want to see that though.
No, I don't envy Christian Albers actually being in the car at the time, but no, it was an unfortunate thing, and he lost his license at the end of that and could not compete in Formula 1 afterwards. So the seat went to, I believe, it was Frank Montagny.
Yeah, because I think Sato was the lead driver at that team at Supergura, the old Japanese team there. His safety car will be coming in now, so Calvin becomes the de facto safety car at this very moment. So the question is, when does he decide to go? He's got Chris and Kid backing him behind to help him with Womack and Xavier, because as we know, the each group will be helping each other. The UK, US drivers will be helping one another. The rest of the world will be helping one another as well. So it's a massive team game. Calvin decides to go, as he is going now in the Rivazza, so he's going to gun it now. Good restart by the three drivers at front, Calvin, Chris and Kid keeping together nice and well. They have dropped Womack slightly, Xavier just behind, as we have Jackster looking to make a move on. Bergen on the run down to turn one, he's got the inside, makes a nice clean move there, both respectful.
There a little bit, gave him the space.
Yep, very yeah. Oh, Chris has got 3 seconds for track limits.
A little bit of argy-bargy, a little bit further on down.
Just going back to Jackster and Bergen quickly about the moves. They are both very respectful drivers. I've had I would say luxury somewhat to be on track battling those two, and they are very fair and clean.
That's what we want in this league.
We sure do.
Especially with the new season coming up shortly.
Yes, I believe that starts with MRCX in just a week, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, there is a car off the top of the hill. It's Ghost Rider.
That is Ghost Rider, part of the Rest of the World group, as I am just looking at 38, who is hounding the back of single track right now, but the DRS train is in effect, as Xavier has taken Womax for P4, so now Xavier will be looking to hunt down his fellow Tier 1 drivers, Kid, Chris and Calvin, to try and take some bonus points away, as looks like he had a bit of a bad exit at Villeneuve. Womax decided to stay behind.
Yeah, let him fly in, really. Xavier.
Yeah. Bergen all over the gearbox of Jackster into Piratella.
I think I can hear a couple of expletives now, because I think Chris has just looked in his rear mirrors and just seen who's behind him.
Deja vu?
Yeah, he probably saw him just go, oh no, not him again.
Mark is just on the back of Bergen as well. Hopefully they would probably play the team game.
Yeah, you'd think so. Especially because we've got to wonder as well now with the...
Ooh, 38 looking around the outside of single track into the first Rivazza. Not a overtaking spot, if I must say. Just caught that at the back of shot.
I think Bergen's lining up Jackster at the minute down the start-finish straight.
Yeah, he's through.
He's got him, he's through.
Yep, even before the corner.
The slipstream is very powerful here.
Oh, it's... I would say, yeah, it is very powerful, especially down the start-finish straight. So now that Bergen's got Jackster, that'll give Mark the chance to attack, as 38's got single track at the Tozer hairpin.
I wonder if it's possibly that some people's tyres may be going off, might not be fantastic at the minute. I don't know how Calvin's been going through 9 laps. 38 gets a 3-second penalty.
Yep, so he's had 3 warnings now. Mark is right on the gearbox of Jackster still. He's going to be hoping that Bergen can drop Jackster out of the DRS so he can get an attack on the run down to turn 1 with DRS. Jackster keeping within as... Oh, Jackster's made a mistake! Yeah, he got on a slightly wide in the middle of... Yeah, slightly wide in the middle of the Rivazza.
Well. Yeah. Behind the detection point, so Hodge is still going to get the wing just for added salt in the wound.
Saviour. Ooh, it's level evens now between Saviour and Chris now, both on 3 seconds. Let's drop down and got G-Star all over the back of his fellow rest of the world driver of Lorpy. Now I know G-Star tends to be the quicker driver, so I wonder if Lorpy will play the team game and swap places with G-Star.
Because he's on the harder. He starts on the harder tyres again, the same as Mark did.
Going for the longer opening stint.
Yeah, you can get them out of the way then, and they can stay with the mediums. A bit better. Oh, yellow flag. Dumbest Hornet's had a moment.
Yeah, he's
slow on the straight on the way to Variant Alta.
Speaking of that, G-Star as you were talking there, has dropped a bit back from Lorpy.
Who's right on the back of single track now. Single track maybe a bit of a sitting duck down the start-finish straight. Unless he's still getting the DRS off the faster car.
We'll see if the... No, so he's going to be under threat from Lorpy on the run down to turn 1. These camera angles are appalling. As 38's got Jackster on the run down to turn 1.
Lorpy's trying it. No, Martin shuts the door cleanly in his face.
Slammed it shut.
Yep, he just said to Lorpy, you are not coming past me this lap. Try again at another opportunity, my good sir.
You shall not pass. As Mark and Bergen has changed places. Now Mark's ahead of Bergen.
Up to 6th place. He's having a quiet one, is Hodgery, but he's keeping it effective.
Same with Bergen, keeping it pointing in the right direction. As we'll drop back down to the latter end of the grid as Dumbest Hornet at the air back of this DRS train. Kid is we didn't see the change for the lead, I apologise, but Kid is currently leading the race now ahead of Calvin, so my guess is Calvin's tyres are slowly dropping off.
They would be, especially in this state.
So we'll just jump up to the front for a minute with these 3. Calvin there still on the soft tyres, 13 laps in. I wonder how he's feeling on those tyres. Probably a little bit worse for wear.
They've got to be careful this front 3 because look who's coming up to play.
He's got his Saviour has got his fishing rod out. He's absolutely yeeted it. And he's caught the rear wing of Chris and he's just slowly reeling them in lap by lap, ever so slightly.
Oh, I thought I saw that upgrade what you've just mentioned in Qatar. That's the new upgrade they've put on Checo's car so he can keep up with Max.
Oh, the tow rope.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris has gone miles wide out of the chicane because I think Calvin had a compromised line as well because of his tyres. So that's allowed Saviour to be right within striking distance. But luckily the DRS of from Calvin will nullify it, who will also get DRS off of Kid. So these 3 are technically doing a Carlos Sainz right now to keep Saviour at bay.
Smooth operations.
Very smooth by the 3. Working very well together. But knowing Saviour, he is hungry because he's right on the back of Chris. Chris will be having an absolute rear full
Vietnam flashbacks.
Yeah, as Lorpy has made a position on single track.
Maybe having Vietnam flashbacks to pictures, because I thought
G-Star's got Martin as well. I'm just looking at the side there while we're keeping an eye on this battle.
Lorpy's got quite a train developing behind him.
He has, and he's 4 seconds off of Jackster, so he's not going to get any sort of DRS whatsoever. And
he's got three UK US cars right in his gearbox.
Yeah. Ooh, Saviour getting a bit skittish out the chicane.
Single track wide.
Yep, he's lost the position to Dunbest Hornet as G-Star is
switched.
Yep, this. So I wonder if G-Star can now close the gap on Jackster.
Multi-21 did.
We've got our little groups and gaggles at the moment. You've got these front four: Kid, Calvin, Chris, and Saviour out front. Then you got Woomax 3 seconds back in no man's land on his Todd. Then you've got the train of Mark Bergen 38 and Jackster. Then a little bit further back you got the G-Star train being led obviously by G-Star. Lorpy's in there, Dunbest Hornets in there, Single Tracks in there, Baby Hornets in there, and then you got Ant right at the back of that train, and then obviously you got Ghost Rider 7 seconds or so back, and RFC Danny off as well because sadly wasn't able to get back in his car. We'll jump back to the front where Saviour's going to be hoping to get some kind of opening or chance at Chris. It is Germany. It is Germany versus Britain all over again.
Oh, that old rivalry again.
Indeed. Looks like Dunbest Hornet and Ants gained a place as well. Baby Hornet's dropped back a little bit. I wonder if he's made a mistake there. But yeah, these DRS trains are really being they're nullifying quite a lot, and it does not help that there's only the one DRS zone at the start-finish straight. Yes, it's a flat run from the second Rivazza all the way down to turn 1 at with the Tamburello as I think Single Tracks made a mistake at Tamburello.
Oh no, he'll be kicking himself for that one.
As G-Star and Jackster are switched, so that's G-Star up to P9 now, so he's going to look to close the gap onto the next car, which is his fellow rest of the world driver of 38. His 38 has taken Bergen at the chicane,
but he's got 3 seconds for it.
Yes, he did. Bergen's looking to get the place back. Yeah, oh, careful boys. Bergen's got the inside.
The key part is who's going to be behind the DRS detection point.
I think he was just in. He got inside it, so he's got the DRS off of Mark in front. So that'll help. That helps him from the attack from 38. Just keep an eye on this battle for a little bit. Oh, we'll jump to the front as Saviour is looking to go around the outside of Tozer, side by side. Oh, bit of wheel banging, but all respect. Yeah, he's looking to go around. Oh, he's backed out of it, brave, but he backed out of it playing sensible.
Don't go challenging into there.
This is not helped Chris at all because it's made him drop back from Calvin just in front, so he's going to be vulnerable to Saviour.
This is round. I've lost count really between these two, really, but I've had many battles.
I think he's just managed to get into DRS. The DRS dictation.
No, he's made a mistake at the bottom of the hill.
Oh, Saviour's lost loads of time. Yes.
He's behind. He's right gap of the detection point, but he's made a mistake right at the bottom of that hill. It is a tough braking point going down that hill because you're carrying way more speed.
Yeah,
What you normally would on a flat run.
You get the slight assistance of gravity as you're going down the hill. It's a bit like that downhill braking zone in Bahrain as well. Downhill braking is, I would say, one of the most difficult parts because you have to brake earlier than what you'd probably think because of the gravitational pull of you going downhill. Bit of science, people. There you go. I've gone a bit scientific. Apologies.
Nope. Just grabbing the pillow.
Getting comfy.
A little bit.
It's quite spread out towards the back as Martin's pitting, so obviously probably a change of tyres and stuff. Just going to jump back to the front three, just see how they're doing. As Calvin's coming under attack from Chris. They've just swapped places. Chris getting on the grass a little bit, making the move. Risky business.
We all know what happened the last time someone did that.
Oh yes, as Jackster's
turned their car into confetti.
Pretty much, as Jackster's pitted, so he's fresh set of rubber. I'd expect to see Calvin in at some point soon on those soft tyres doing on lap 19 now. Obviously pace isn't in the car right now with the tyres.
I can see Calvin probably pitting sooner rather than later just to get off them tyres.
Just drop down the order because I can see Ghost Rider within a second of Dunbest Hornet, so wonder if we'll see an overtake going down to turn 1 soon. They follow single file through these latter corners of the track, through Aqua Minerale. As Saviour's got Calvin now, because Calvin has pitted now to get off those soft tyres.
Is he going to mediums or hards? They're the yellows, they're going to mediums. I think he's going to make one more stop this race.
So that's Calvin now on the medium tyres. So he's going to be foot to the floor now with that fresh rubber. As will we see a position change as Ghost Rider's got DRS from Dunbest Hornet. But he's a little too far back, so not quite effective. As I think I saw 38 get another track limit warning, so we'll just have a penalties. We'll just have a little look. Yeah, you got obviously Christian Saviour on 3 seconds of time penalties, as well as Baby Hornet, and 38 is on 9. 20 laps gone, and that is your penalties so far.
Bergen a little wide at the top of variant at Alta, behind Hodgie.
Yep, still within that DRS window, so he will be not much threat from 38. As the Hornet brothers have switched, Dunbest Hornet has just leapfrogged Baby Hornet, so the switcheroo with the brothers. Chris ahead of Simon. As yep, Dunbest Hornet pits as well, and he's
5 seconds. It's a tough pit lane.
It is a tough pit lane. That is unfortunate for Dunbest Hornet.
Yeah, he'll be kicking himself. I think he won a concerto with steering wheel after that.
Not much overtaking going off at the moment because, as we know, DRS trains are very, very, very... What word would you describe it as, Andrew, with the DRS trains around Imola?
How many words can I use and not get this video demonetized?
Very little.
I kid. No, it's... If you're stuck in one, it can be frustrating because it nullifies any advantage you get from the DRS at all with this, but...
Oh, 38 is really going for it. He's going around the outside of Bergen.
That's a brave move.
Oh, bit of wheel contact on exit, but he's made the move stick. There was a bit of wheel banging though.
Yeah, it was a little bit...
Now, oh.
Both the Hornet brothers get 5 seconds.
Anything you can do, I can do better.
Yeah, there's a lot of pit stops coming through now, a lot of cycling through. Ghost Riders in the box as well.
Yeah.
I'll
accidentally flicked my triggers there, jumping about.
I'll have a quick look at the tyres they're on. Hornet and Ghost Rider both take mediums, so I think they will be doing one more stop in this race.
Still the one safety car so far with the DNF of Sociopath that happened on the exit of the second Rivazza. Feels like quite a while ago that happened now, but we've had no crashes or safety cars since, not even a virtual still. As we are 23 laps into the 63 here at Imola in the second race of the UK-US Rest of the World Ryder Cup, as Hodgie Mark has labelled it. It's like
instead of golf power, it's horsepower.
Yeah, instead of swinging a club, you're driving a car. As Hornets had too many warnings now, so he's had 3 seconds. So that's again both the Hornets on 3 seconds. So brother things.
Well, they always said siblings are always on the same wavelength.
Got a bit of the dirty air from 38's car, which unsettled the car going through Aquaminarale, so he got a bit out of shape and off track, but he kept it going. G-Star, as you just saw, just in the back of shot on the hard tyres.
He's lurking. Both the hard tyre runners started the race are in the top 8 now.
Yes, obviously they're now coming into play now with the medium tyres slowly going to be dropping off at some point. So the two drivers that are currently on hards, which was Calvin, just sets the fastest lap on his fresh medium tyres of an 18.5. As 38 all over the gearbox of Mark Hodgson through Villeneuve into Toza. It's been a very single file kind of affair with some of these battles.
It has been, the race is sort of quieting down a little bit now, just on the little...
Yeah, always Bergen and 38 have a bit of a little knock together through the exit of Aquaminarale, but both cars are still going. I don't see any damage on Bergen's front wing, so he must have just been a tiny tap, not to afford any damage, but that's kind of helped Mark get pull away a little bit from 38. Bergen will be in striking distance as 38's actually pitted, and so that's
5 seconds,
and 5 seconds as well. So little bit of maths, Andrew. 9 plus 5.
14.
That's your penalties for 38 currently. Hopefully, it doesn't affect him too much. The worst case scenario for 38 with all those penalties will be a safety car towards the end, because you get bunched up that much that you can just tumble down the order if you got too many penalties.
Yeah, it can be detrimental to you.
As Hornet's got a baby Hornet with another 3 seconds, as we are currently watching a little tussle between Lorpy and Ant. Lorpy has recently been listed for Tier 1, so he has gone from Tier 2 to Tier 1. And I've had the luxury of reserving a few Tier 1 races along with him, and he's done some very decent showings in Tier 1, so hopefully next season we can see some promising things from Lorpy next season when he makes his official Tier 1 debut.
Well, as you said, you've done the reserves. I've had the pleasure of actually being up in that tier, and I'm not, and from experience, it's not easy.
It is not. I am very surprised as Bergen's just got 3 seconds, so not good on that as Bergen. I think Bergen's made a mistake. He's round at the exit of Tozer, so he's going to be banging himself a little bit for that one in anger.
Yeah, he's just going to keep his head down. There's plenty of the race still left to run.
Hopefully he can get back some places as single tracker swap places with Baby Hornet. Baby Hornet lifting off to allow single track to take the position. That's further down the grid. It's quite spread now at the top part of the running order.
Yes, it is. It's just simmering. The race is just simmering at the moment. It's not.
As Bergen's pitted after that mistake, so hopefully he can put some fresh rubber on and make some time back.
The tyres out a bit.
Excuse me.
Can't tell what tyres he's gone on to.
Just going to jump up the order to Calvin, who's in strike, who's slowly coming up to the back of G-Star, as Mark's now got 3 seconds.
Hard tyres for Bergen. I think he's going to try and go to the end.
I think it's doable. You would think so, and it's possibility, yeah.
The car's going to be lighter by the end of this.
Yeah, Calvin is going to be within striking distance of G-Star on those 28 lap hard tyres. G-Star's not going to be within DRS of Hodge, even though he's not far behind. So Calvin's going to look to strike here on the run down to turn 1. DRS wide open, gets behind the back of G-Star, makes the move and is through even before the corner even approaches. So that's Calvin up to P6, and he's now going to look to get onto the back of Hodge. And I wonder if team play is going to be brought into play here, because Calvin on the fresher tyres, the quicker car on track at the moment with the fresh tyres. Hodge on the hards, and Hodge does move to the side, allows Calvin to breeze through unaffected, get me teeth in, undeterred. Thank you, Andrew.
No, mention it.
Sometimes I think I need to make a breath when I'm doing some sentences, because I try and do it all in one breath. I should stop that.
Not really the easiest thing to do.
No. Trying to get so much in one go.
Yeah.
But Mark moving over and letting Calvin through will have DRS off of Calvin, so it will nullify the attack from G-Star behind.
Still thinking when these guys are going to pit, because there's not been that many pit stops this race so far.
No, we'll just have a quick look to see who has pitted. The people that currently have pitted is obviously Calvin, who started on the soft tyres at the start. The only other cars to pit are 38 Jackster, Dunbest Hornet, Ghost Rider, and RSC Danny, who sadly is the ghosted car at the back because didn't get in, sadly. Well, internet dropped and couldn't get back. So those are your pitters at the moment. So it begs a differ. Are those front four possibly looking at doing a one-stop medium hard?
It's a possibility.
It is a possibility.
Because how much are you trying to push this car? I don't know. How much are you trying to push these tyres? Because, oh, we have Wumax in the box.
That's Wumax in from P4, so that's promoted Calvin up to P4. G-Star has got DRS on Mark, but looks to be too far back to even make an attempt.
I'm just having a quick look at the... Both on 29 lap old hard tyres, these two. It's crazy.
Really stretching those tyres out as 38 makes the move on Lorpy to move up into P8. We'll go back to the battle between Mark and G-Star as they come through Piratello. And then through Acqua Minerale up the hill. It's like G-Star's got a little tow rope to Mark because the race lines they are following are near enough identical. So it's like follow the leader between these two, which
yeah,
no surprise. So will G-Star make the move on Mark on the run down to turn 1 here? DRS will be open, there it is. And then the powerful slipstream from the car in front. But still a bit too far back to make the move. So I wonder if G-Star is actually trying to nurse those tyres a little bit to try and get a little bit more out of them. As 38 goes in 18.4 to set the fastest lap of the race. As 38
mediums.
He's also made the move on Ant in the process, so that's 38 up into P7. Ant having a quiet race, if I must say.
He always seems to have a quiet race. I've just seen how many laps he's done on those soft tyres, and good God.
Honestly, I'd love to know how he does it. Honestly, I'd love to know how he does it.
I'll be 1 second.
So we'll jump back to G-Star and Mark. Hopefully G-Star can look to make the place on Mark. Down to turn 1. He looks a lot closer than last time. But Mark obviously using his ERS wise down as Saviour has pitted from P3. So that's Saviour in. So the only front runners yet to pit at the moment, Kid and Chris still first and second leading the way. G-Star all over Mark's gearbox. Lorpy has pitted as well. Still quite spread in some parts of the track, so we'll stick with this right now as it's the closest battle on track. G-Star started on the hard tyres, done 32 laps so far, still going. As Mark gets a bit of a twitchy exit out the chicane, which has allowed G-Star to get the better run down the hill. G-Star sticks behind through the two Rivazzas as Dunvest Hornet's got another 3 seconds. G-Star playing the sensible game, waiting for the DRS. He's got it, he's very, very close now to Hodge, pulls to the inside and goes through, makes the place on the run down to turn 1. So that's Hodge dropped down as Kidd has pitted from the lead. So Kidd, yep, so that's Kidd now coming out of the pits in P5. So Chris inherits the lead. So the question is now, when does he pit?
That is the key question, and my apologies for disappearing off for a minute.
Yeah, we're just going to drop down, and on the back of Saviour, obviously, and 32 laps on those soft tyres, and you've got to tell us, how do you do it, lad?
That is a good question. That is a very, very, very good question, my friend Carl.
38 with another penalty to his name in this race. It is not looking good for him.
He's going to be...
Oh, and Chris Bailey as well. He's got another one, so he's on 6 now. I can already imagine Chris's voice when that happens. Like, God damn it, Chris.
He won't be pleased with himself. I can tell you that now. He will not be pleased with himself.
No, he's a bit hard on himself sometimes when he makes these little errors. We're all human, and we're all perfection. Yep, 18-0.
The tyre whisperer has given up, and he's pitting.
My guess is, if he's gone that long on the soft tyre, my guess he's going to the mediums now, which will probably go to the end, or does he play...
No, he's on hards.
He's gone hard, so that will definitely be a run to the end for Ant. As Mark seems to be dropping off the back of G-Star now, so G-Star looks in set P3 at the moment, will drop down as I can see Jackster within striking range as we have a virtual.
Ooh. Ant's lost his wing coming out the pits. Nope, my mistake, it's single track.
So something must have happened, because I think, was it Ghost Rider and Single Track who was at the same piece of track at the time? As Chris and Calvin have taken full advantage of this.
Wouldn't you?
And so's G-Star Marks in as well.
Is Chris going to softs?
Kid stays out.
Chris has gone to soft tyres.
Now, is that a unchanged to his strategy, or is that originally what he was planning to begin with?
Knowing Chris, I would say probably from begin with, because he is that... I wouldn't say crazy with his tyre strategies. I would say outside of the box, I think is a more operative phrase for him.
G-Star drive-through. Got on the throttle too early under the virtual safety car.
He will be kicking himself for that. He will be absolutely kicking himself.
So G-Star will be looking to serve that as soon as possible to get it out the way. It's going to hurt him.
Another safety car.
Indeed. As 38 looks to try and attack. Oh, Bergen 3 seconds. As Martin's in possibly for repairs, because you said he got some damage. Yep. So that's probably what brought the virtual out.
Yeah.
Chris looking to take advantage of the fresh soft tyres now and open up the gap on 38, which is doing.
Especially with the tyres advantage he has.
He's got quite a tyre advantage over 38, I would say. as G-Star is in to serve his drive-through, which promotes Mark to P7.
Very solid performance from the Middlesbrough Maestro, as I'm going to dub him. He's going to hate that name before the end of the season.
To me, it's Captain Hodge.
Yeah.
As
0p3 seconds.
Yeah, Ghost Rider looking to make the move on Baby Hornet, which he does with the aid of DRS down to turn 1. So that's Ghost Rider up into the top 10. Just going back to what I said earlier in the race, the top 15 score points, but the top 3 get their points doubled. Only the top 3. So whoever finishes on the podium gets double points in this race.
So by the looks of it, with the UK, it will be about 80, 85, 86 points for the UK and US team.
The UK-US team came into this race as we have a yellow flag in the second sector, which was soon cleared. Baby Hornet 3 seconds. But yeah, going back to the points, the UK-US team have come into this race with a 31-point deficit after the race in Bahrain. So quite a big haul of points to try and claw back.
It is.
Which probably will, the double points will obviously help that definitely on that one.
Yeah, help mitigate that gap, definitely.
Just going to jump up. Saviour within a second of 38. I wonder if we'll see another team play here on 38's behalf to get out the way of Saviour, who is one of the front runners in this race. 38, obviously 38 is up there on merit because he's
driven superbly this race.
Pretty much, apart from the penalties.
Yellow flag.
That was out of Aqua Minerale on the track map.
May have been Ant, I'm not too sure.
The field's gone quite spread again since that virtual, because you got a few cars that took advantage of it to get the fresher tyres.
Well, wouldn't you have done in that situation?
Oh, I have done a few times. This Bergen is up to P7. Saviour getting ever closer to 38.
I wonder if he's going to, I wonder if there will be some team rest of the world team tactics with them.
As Kig does a 17.7 to take the fastest lap of the race out in front. As 38 does not defend hard from his fellow rest of the world driver, and Saviour is through into P3, which will now allow him to probably hunt down and try and get on the back. As 38 is actually trying to have a look on Saviour, actually, the fellow teammate. 38 looking very racy on the back of Saviour, which won't help matters for the team. Yes, they're third and fourth, but you don't want to hamper each other.
No. No, they all want their own personal glory, but there's no iron team.
Nope. As Calvin is now onto the back of 38, who's dropped a second, who's gone wide out of the chicane. Calvin playing the sensible game and staying behind, waiting for the DRS. Calvin right on the gearbox of 38. Pulls to the outside with the DRS. Swoops right around the car. And is now up into P4 and is looking to hunt down Saviour to make it an all-you... Ooh! Just watched from Calvin's view. I just seen 38 sliding through turn 1.
It's easy to do around there. You hit that curb wrong, you're screwed.
He came in very hot into turn 1, caught the curb, and the back end decided to just say hello.
Not the thing you want the back end of the car to be doing.
Definitely not, as G-Star's made a place on Dunbus Hornet. So we'll just drop down to see how those two are doing, because it is the closest gap on track. As Ghost Rider has also made a place, because Baby Hornet is pitted. Saviour 3 seconds, so that's 6 now for Saviour. So him and Chris both on 6 seconds, if I'm not mistaken, after that one.
And joined at the hip, these two.
You just can't separate them, can you?
No, they're like kids, aren't they? Just goes, oh, this guy's got something new. Okay, I want it the same thing.
Yeah, I want a piece of that. I don't want to be left out.
Yeah.
As Calvin on the medium tyres to the hard tyres of Saviour is within a second of the black car. But Saviour has slightly opened up the gap as the ghosted car of RFC Donny stays clearing out the way. Sadly, we couldn't get him back in, which is a big shame. Would have been nice to see how he would have done tonight. Chris sets the fastest lap of a 17.6 on those soft tyres.
But is he going to be able to get them to the end, though?
That is the question. Mind you, Ant did about 30 odd laps on the soft tyres.
Yeah, and you got to remember the car's going to be a lot lighter now than what it was at the beginning of the race.
Yeah, so the tyre wear is going to be a little bit less because, like you say, the cars are a lot lighter than what they were at the start of the race. I've just noticed that G-Star was very close to Bergen. DRS activated. Jackster with a time penalty. G-Star makes the move on Bergen down to turn 1. And Ants made the place on Dunbus Hornet further back. We'll jump back up to Calvin and Saviour. Hornet with another penalty to his name. Very, very easy at Imola to get penalties, and they are slowly tallying up.
They're buzzing around these penalties tonight to the Hornet.
As Calvin's just got one in the middle of the Rivazza, got slightly over the white line, enough to the game say, right, that's your third warning. Just going to say a very quick one for Kid, looking very cool, calm and collected and controlled out in front.
It's a very imperious performance from him.
Would you expect anything different from Kid?
He could have been a little more explosive, but...
What, dynamite by name, dynamite by nature?
That's the height of my jokes for tonight.
One thing about Kid when he's out in front, he definitely knows how to pace himself because he's done it many times when out in front.
Yeah, he does know how to dictate a pace. Same with Ujoni as well. They know how to hang back, defend, and then...
Calvin's right on Saviour coming through the Rivazza, but sadly for Calvin, he doesn't seem to have a lot of ERS because he was flashing through the two Rivazzas. He's flashing again. He's used a lot of ERS to keep on the back of Saviour, who seems to be managing is a bit better because I don't see a red flashing light on the back of that car. As Calvin's... Oh, Calvin got on the grass and he's in
There's
the gravel.
Car off for turn one.
It's Calvin. He got on the grass on braking and
he can't get the car turned back.
No, that's easily done. He got, I think I would say, with two wheels on the grass, went into the braking zone and the car just didn't want to stop.
It's easily done around here though, especially as I mentioned in turn one.
Yeah, so I can imagine Calvin saying a few words to himself after that.
Cursing the mistake.
I will not say what he'll probably be thinking because PG and everything. As Chris Bailey on the soft tyres is caught up to Kid. So I wonder what will happen here. Will the switcheroo happen, or what? As Chris gets DRS, goes to the outside, Kid stays on the left, and that's Chris through into the lead of this race on those soft tyres. The question is, will he have to stop again, or can he keep going? As we have a yellow at Aqua Minerale, but soon cleared up again. Back marker gets out the way of Chris, very well done. Drop down to Calvin, who's looking to recover what he lost after going off at turn one. On the back of Wumax. Keeping in touch. Calvin will obviously be feeling angry in that cockpit right about now.
You will do, and have... Just having a quick look at the amount of viewers we've got for tonight. If you're liking what you're seeing, I know this isn't our normal broadcasting home for tonight, but...
Yes, not the usual place you see these, but us lot racing, but it's just a one-off for tonight. We will be back on the usual channel for the rest of the races during the pre-season, and obviously we'll be back on the usual channel when the official season 12 gets underway, which will be on Friday next week with X. Anton Bergen swap places.
That sounds excellent. An excellent prospect waiting for me. Oh, there's a car off!
Oh, yeah, there's a car round. I don't know who that is.
Just trying to have a quick scan
It
through.
is Jackster. It's Jackster. Jackster was round at the Tozer hairpin. My guess is got on the power too early, back end came out, and around he goes like a spinning top.
Like there's, it's like them toys that used to have the ripcords back when I was younger a couple of years ago.
Are you referencing Beyblades by any chance?
That I would be. Love those back in the playground. But, oh, no, another penalty for 38. Another 5 seconds speeding in the pit lane.
He's he's tallying those up. Obviously, he's pitted, so he'll be serving his last 5-second penalty that he got.
The stewards will love him by the end of the race.
Yes.
Jaxter's out.
Where's he gone? Oh,
called it in the pits lane. He's retired in the pits.
He's obviously not happy with himself. Called it a day.
Which is unfortunate.
Lorpy makes the position change on Dunbest Hornets. As we are still following the battle between Calvin and Womax. Obviously Calvin gets onto the back of Womax but hasn't got enough to make a challenge, because I think both cars are actually flashing with the lights on the back for the lack of VRS. I know Calvin is, because he's the one we're on board with. We'll just jump on board with Calvin.
Chasing back down Womax.
Yep. Bit too far back. Just have a look at the two up front for a second. Line astern. I would say kid's probably just sitting behind Chris, just happy to sit there and just nurse the tyres to the end.
It's a safe assumption.
Yep. And funnily enough, these are the closest two on track.
But we know there's not going to be much attacking between the two of them.
Nope. A very strong team game by the UK-US drivers.
That it is, as we head into the last 13 laps of this race.
Yeah, latter stages of the race.
It's got to be also the concentration, the fatigue probably setting in soon for these guys.
Yep, 100% races are quite a challenge on the brain and stuff, because you're having to focus so much. And especially and especially at Imola, where you have to really focus because track limits are very prominent. Just have a look at a few others. Give someone, some people a bit more airtime.
Let's have a look at who's close.
There's not that many cars close together.
That's the problem. Calvin is closing in on Womax.
I think he's just controlling the pace at the moment. Because we ain't watched him much, we'll give Ant a bit of airtime.
I think you would appreciate that. Yellow flag.
That
was one off the top of the hill.
He must have dropped it on the exit of Aqua Minerale.
Yeah, it's just on the way up to the Variante Alta.
Not many mistakes by the boys tonight.
No, they've all kept it quite clean. Shows quality of the guys we have in this league and who we got out on track tonight.
Especially with a lot of the information that's been going out the last few days in the MRC, with all the changes for season 12 with the penalty system and whatnot.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be an interesting season, this one coming up.
it's definitely going to make us all think when making moves or stuff on track. It's going to drop down, as I've just noticed. 38 is within half a second of Bergen, as he's gone purple in the middle sector. So 30 absolutely flying on those soft tyres right now.
He's right up Bergen's gearbox.
Near enough pushing him round the second Ravazza.
He's going for it.
He is. Inside. Yep, that's 38 up into P8. I'd definitely say he'll be able to get those soft tyres to the end of this race.
Let's see when he pitted on those. 4 laps. Yeah, this should be doable from here.
Yeah, 38 already opened up the gap on Bergen since making the move. Obviously those soft tyres in full effect. As our two head honchos of MRC, our league manager and league owner, within a second of each other. Still not many battles on track, with the field being very spread still. 38, fastest lap of the race, 17.3 on those soft tyres, taking full effect of those. Single track getting ever so closer to the back of Hodge, so I'm wondering if Hodge will just pull over and let Martin through.
Or even though Hodge is on the younger tyres.
Yeah, so probably Hodge is just paying moments of the race, or just stay with this to see what happens between these two.
Ten to go.
Yep, 10 laps to go here in Imola. Chris still leading, with Kid in second. I think Kid's just sitting behind Chris because he's got those 6 seconds, but luckily for Chris, he'll be easy P2, even with those penalties. Speaking of penalties, we'll just have a quick update on those. Chris 6 seconds, Saviour 6 seconds, Calvin 3 seconds, 38 on 20 seconds worth of penalties. Bergen's on 9, Lorpy's on 3, so's Mark, he is on 3. Baby Hornet on 15. Dunbest Hornet is on 9. And Ghost Rider is on 3. So we could be seeing a few shifts and changes after the end of the race. Oh, Hornet's got another load, so he's only 2 off of 38.
Yellow flag.
That is on the run down to the chicane.
Kid's past Chris.
Yep. Kid takes the lead on the run down to turn 1. The question is, how are those soft tyres on Chris feeling about now?
Well, let's have a quick ganders. I'm going to have a quick ganders at the intervals. He can't really pit, can Chris, at the moment, because he's only got 9 seconds, 8-9 seconds back to Saviour, and then Womax is not. It's a possibility he could pit and get back past Womax, but he's got to get the gap back out because of the penalties again.
Yeah, those 6 seconds probably will definitely hamper him if he does decide to make a last minute pit stop.
Yeah, Chris is painting himself a little bit into a corner here.
Just seeing Calvin's now caught up to the back of G-Star again. the Ghost car not playing fair to Calvin, driving through, and that's going to be off-putting for Calvin, definitely. As Lorpy pits, apologies. Wonder if Calvin can get close enough on the exit of the two Rivazzas. Is a bit too far back as 30 gets another time penalty.
What is the maximum amount they can get for getting disqualified?
Funnily enough, Andrew, that is a good question, and I don't know that. I know in a
bit more careful.
Yes, I would say possibly about 30 seconds worth of penalties, and that's when the game will decide you've had too many penalties. We're going to end your race there. That's just a guess. Going to stick with the Calvin G-Star battle because they're the only two cars that are close enough that are on opposite sides of the line. Bergen with another penalty to his name. That rest of the world car on the soft tyres, definitely these ghosted cars not helping Calvin at all. Ghost cars can be very off-putting, especially in braking zones when they come flying through you.
They do.
Ant's now creeping up to the back of Calvin on those hard tyres.
When was the tyre difference when they pitted?
Well, Ant did about 30 odd laps on the softs before he pitted for the hard tyre.
Yeah, he's got one lap older tyres than Ant, but he's got the harder durability of tyre on.
Yes.
Compared to Calvin, so by the looks of it, Ant could be in the better position in a lap or two.
The more favourable position, that is definite.
Oh yeah, you can.
Womax is out. Wonder if we can see that. Just going to jump on G-Star to see where that is.
I think it's at the top of the hill.
Possibly.
No, it's down. It looks like it's down Acqua Minerale.
Although his car was moving even after he DNF, so I wonder what happened.
That's very weird. That's one of the very big rest of the world players out of the race now.
Yeah, that's Womax out from P4, so that's massive points lost for the rest of the world, who are down 3 drivers. Because the other retirements so far are Jackster and Sociopath. Sociopath retired.
It's all rest of the world cars.
Yeah, so this is definitely helping the UK-US
as
team.
Ant and Calvin do make the switch.
Yep, that's Ant through on the hard tyres. Looking to chase down G-Star. So as it stands, the only drivers to get the double points will be Kid, Chris and Saviour.
But is even the double points for Saviour going to be enough to mitigate the gap? Mitigate the amount that Chris and Dynamite are going to get for the UK and US teams?
Probably not, but it depends what the points to give out, because I know the top 15 get points, but I don't know how much they get. I forgot to ask Mr. Hodge on that one.
Whoops.
Yeah.
No.
As we... Oh, Baby Hornet's now gone. As there's the safety car.
G-Star's diving in.
So's Ant straight in.
Calvin doing the same. I don't blame him.
Yeah, I can see a lot of people jumping on the soft tyres about now.
You certainly wouldn't. You would. You definitely would in this situation.
This safety car at this stage in the race is going to hurt those with the penalties. But at least it bunches everyone up and allows us to probably watch some racing again, because it was quite spread.
It was, but it's time for some more facts, I believe, Carl, don't you?
Yes, you mentioned a certain Michael Schumacher many laps ago.
Ah, yes. A lot of people say the goat of the sport.
Depending which way you look at it, I'm not going to go into that debate. But he holds the most wins here of 7.
7. That's a very nice total for here. But this was 2 facts I will tell you. When this track was brought back to the calendar in 2020, if I remember correctly, there was only one driver on the whole grid that had driven at Imola in the last time they were here. Do you know who that might happen to be?
Would that happen to be a certain Fernando Alonso?
No, because he was not on the grid at that time in 2020.
Oh, bugger, yes. My mind's gone dead.
Does anyone in the chat want to help out poor Carl?
I should know these. I should know these things. I'm such ashamed of myself.
It's a certain Finnish driver who does like his Magnum ice creams.
Oh, Kimi Räikkönen, there we go.
Good old Kimi. But
should have been an obvious one, to be fair.
Oh, it's fine, don't worry. But I have another little fact for you. Who, in their debut season for the team, in 1997, scored their first win here?
97?
Yes.
What was the car?
That would give away the answer.
Damn it.
Nice play, I'll give you that.
I thought I'd try something.
Oh, why not?
Come on, what was the car?
Alright, I'll give you that. It was a Williams.
Oh. Williams 97. Who was driving for Williams in 97?
No Googling it.
I'm not. I've got YouTube on my phone, so I can't Google it. Williams 97. Was it Heinz-Harald Frentzen?
You would be correct.
I just had to think that. I was like, who was driving for Williams in '97? Because I know it was. I know Damon Hill left by then, because he. Lot of talk about that, whether he got kicked out or he left on his own 2 feet.
That's a debate for another day.
Yeah, that is a debate for another day. And then I got to think, who replaced him? Oh, yes, it's Frentzen.
Yes, he beat his compatriot and fellow Sauber Mercedes sports car.
Yes, because they both came through the Sauber Mercedes partnership in was it GT racing or?
Yes, it was, and I do still find it ironic that Frentzen was the only one to have actually driven for the Sauber F1 team.
Yes, but mind you, it was a Mercedes car, if I'm not Mercedes, they were racing. So obviously Michael then joined Mercedes when they bought out Brawn after the 2009 season.
The fairy tale akin to a certain team from the Midlands winning the Premier League. we won't go there. We won't go there, because if for certain someone's watching tonight, I'm going to be in a bit of the doghouse. But who got their first pole position here in 2004?
Jenson Button.
That's an easy one. That was a very easy one, to be honest.
Quite a popular pole position that season, if I'm not mistaken. Because obviously somebody brand new and fresh on the front of the grid.
Yes, BAR sort of really hit the jackpot really with that season. Great car behind the Ferrari. On there. But
Safety car should be in this lap because we are on lap 61 of 63, so we're getting very close to those.
To the end, yeah.
To the end of these.
It's a 2-lap shootout to the end, but
we'll have no.
No, we shouldn't. But there's one thing I still do remember, and it's from the year after Mr. Frenson's win. As I don't know whether you were watching F1 back then, Carl. Do you remember the old winglets that they used to spawned out of the cars back in '98?
Yeah, they had some very bizarre winglets. Yes, I weren't watching F1 back then, but I remember seeing images and the pictures and stuff of the very bizarre aero parts on those cars that season.
The X-Wings, as I think they were called.
Yeah, I think you are correct on that. Safety car hopefully should be in this lap so we can get racing again.
And that's another reference to the Star Wars Starfighter.
Yes.
They're very good films if you ever get a chance to watch them.
Safety car in, here we go. So Kid now becomes the de facto safety car. Those on penalties will be annoyed with this, yes, because it's the field so bunched up.
Now this is going to be an interesting last 2 laps, Carl.
Absolutely. Question is, when's Kid going to go? He's really taking it. Oh, there's nearly a bit of contact between the front three of Kid, Chris and Saviours. Saviours all over the back of Chris on this restart. As Kid's gone, we'll drop down to Chris to see if Saviour can make any headway on him.
Just battery dumping down that straight.
Yep, Saviour's having a move to the inside, just showing his cards. Doesn't make the move though. Mark with 5. Ooh, that's a weird one.
What happened there?
I have no idea. Probably, my guess is an illegal overtake, probably.
Mine is appearing ghosted on the car for some reason. Car's ghosting.
We'll stick to this battle between Chris and Saviour. I've lost count how many times these two have had an absolute scrap with each other.
I think it's almost as many times as John Cena and Randy Orton have faced each other, to be honest, but...
Oh, Chris is... Oh, no, another 3 seconds for Chris. That's going to be on 9, so he's going to be on extra 3 seconds, as Calvin's got 3 seconds as well. Everyone is absolutely pushing it on these closing stages.
Does it go to the final lap?
Yep. We'll drop a bit down. Kid, fastest lap, obviously. Fresh soft tyres.
Light car, it's going to be fantastic to feel now.
Mark with penalty as well now, another one. Lorpy looking to make a move on Bergen. Doesn't quite make the move. Bergen well defended. Lorpy getting such a better run now towards Villeneuve. Thinks better of it though, stays behind. We'll jump back up to see the battle with Chris and Saviour.
Oh, it's a spin! 13's gone round. 38's gone round.
That's it, toes up. Obviously a bit of contact possibly. As Saviour too far back. Drop back down to see anything else, but we'll jump to the front very briefly because Kid is about to come through the 2 Rivazzas for the very last time as Kid Dynamite takes the win here in Imola for the UK-US team. Saviour jumps Chris because of penalties, so Saviour gets P2.
Chris No, G-Star P3. Chris drops to
G-Star
P5.
P3. Oh, this is because of the safety car bunch up.
Yeah, Chris drops to P5, Lord P6, Calvin 7th, Bergen 8th. 38 comes home in 9th place as the last car on the lead lap.
Oh, really? 38. And that's that.
That's the end of the race.
So that's Kid with the race win. Ant's got the driver of the day from the game. Speaking of that, very quickly before we go through the results, who would you give a driver of the day to, Andrew?
I would say I'd have to... again, I'd have to probably give it to Kid Dynamite. I know it's a boring choice, but drove impeccably all race.
Yeah, very controlled, cool, calm and collected as always was Kid.
Oh yeah.
I'm torn between Kid's control and just pure control of everything. And obviously Ant making headway from the back of the grid. Mind you, Lorpy's made headway as well, so we'll just go through the grid finishing order quickly. So Kid Dynamite takes the win. Saviour and G-Star finish off the podium, so that's double points for those three. Ant P4, Chris drops to P5 after his penalties, Lorpy P6, Calvin 7th, 38th finishes 8th, Bergen P9, single track rounds out the top 10, Ghost Rider 11, Dunbest Hornet 12th, Mark 13th, RSC Danny's Ghosted Car finishes 14th, Baby Hornet finishes 15th to round out the point scorers from tonight's race. Obviously with the DNF as well, so I don't know if he'll get points or what for that one. And obviously the other DNFers is Woomax 16th, Jackster 17th and Social Path in 18th. So that, I'll just go back to the driver of the day. I'll probably just quickly give it to Kid, because like you say, very controlled in that. That rounds up the UK, US versus the rest of the world Little Ryder Cup Series, best of 2 races. Absolute fantastic driving by everyone here tonight, as always. And a very big thank you, Andrew, to deciding to join me in the box tonight for this race.
Thank you very much again for having me, Cole. But we have some good news for the ladies and gentlemen. Your pre-season entertainment is not over yet by a long shot.
No, indeed, because we have your special memorial race on the Monday.
That we do, yes, and I'm still stunned by the turnout from everybody.
Yeah, there's quite a few people that turned up for that. We have the no assist cockpit view locked race on Wednesday, which will be at Japan. And obviously,
I don't envy them for the track choice, but I envy them for the track choice, but I don't envy them having to do everything with no assist and locked into cockpit view. You are a braver lot than me.
Full immersion, as Martin puts it, for the event. And obviously,
yes.
The season 12 will get underway on X that Friday, that week. So next Friday, season 12 will get underway with MRC X. So again, Andrew, thank you. Indeed, the home of Max Verstappen and the Dutch army.
So yeah, again, thank you for having me, Cole. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it was great having you, Andrew. Very great. Thanks for joining.
No worries.
So yeah,
not a problems.
That is all tonight. So we'll see you on Monday back on the MRC channel for Andrew's memorial race. So thank you and good night.
Good night, everybody.